Good morning, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, and happy Friday to you. It's great to see everyone popping up in the chat room. I missed you guys last week, and I apologize for leaving you hanging. I got hit with a migraine, and I thought I canceled everything, but as you know, we are operating on a zillion platforms these days between all these live events, and I was unable to properly cancel the broadcast. So I apologize to those of you that were hanging out thinking I was gone or infected with COVID-19. Thank you for sending those emails expressing care and concern. But I'm so glad to be back, and it's excellent. We've got Robert and Eliza. We have John, and let's see, Bonnie's here as well, Barb, other John, Midori, and Lily, which is great. It's excellent to see all of you here. I hope that you're all doing okay and taking care of yourselves and your family. We've also got Jesus popping in, which is great. And thank you all for tuning in. So let's get right to it. Everyone's been making a ton of incredible art. Now that everyone's got a little more time at home and they're kind of cooped up. And we've seen just an explosion of art in the schoolyard. So I want to share some of that with you today. And then we're going to do some drawing together. So to start off, I want to share this drawing that Paula did, and she actually did this drawing of a bathroom in her home. And I loved how she turned this bathroom drawing into sort of a diagram, kind of a map of her everyday life, spending a lot more time with her family at home. And I just thought that was so cute, and I loved how she kind of turned it into sort of a comic book page, it looks like. So I thought that was a really cool way to draw something pretty mundane and give it a new sort of fun spin. So Paula, thanks for sharing that. We've got Celeste and Nancy as well, and Luz and Barb and Catherine. Excellent. Another piece of art, actually Lily is in the audience right now. This is a drawing that Lily actually started during one of our drawing parties, and I just wanted to share this because I love the idea that if you join one of our live drawing events and say you don't work that quickly or you didn't finish your drawing, a lot of you have been picking up these drawings later and finishing them and turning them into full-blown pieces of art. So Lily, thank you for sharing your lovely living room sketch that you did with Kosha. I think it turned out so nicely, and I love the idea that these drawing parties can kind of just be a little spark for you, and you can kind of take them and run with them and finish your drawings later, and I think it gives you some fun things to work on and keep developing. So Lily, thanks for sharing that. Another drawing Janice did, one of her daily drawings, was of her art supplies, of her collection of scissors, and I can just picture a perfectly organized pegboard full of beautifully laid out art supplies. So Janice, that's the image that I'm going with right now. Based on your drawing, and I love that Janice was able to do this drawing and use it as a reminder that she can still make art and that that's something to be grateful for. Even though times right now are kind of wacky and we've got a lot of things to be anxious about, Janice used this as a reminder that we still have art, and I think that's a great reminder. Thank you, Janice. Looks like we've got Pete and Anka and Esther checking in, Sabrina, excellent, Nancy. So good to see all of you. Yeah, so awesome. Another drawing that just cracked me up, Thistle actually did this drawing of menswear, the line of menswear for spring 2020. And she features some gentlemen looking pretty professional above the waist and then not so professional below the waist. And this just cracked me up. My husband and I are both working from home right now, so this humor is definitely relevant, and I love that it's kind of a lighthearted take on some of the situations a lot of us are finding ourselves in. I do have pants on right now, though, just to clarify. But Thistle, thank you for sharing that drawing. Another student, Daniel, actually shared a drawing that he did that was quite lovely from a photograph, and he actually started working on this during one of our happy hours. So we started doing these sketchbook happy hours. I'll probably set another one up for next week. It'll be under the events tab. And those are actually just Zoom calls where we just show up and kind of say what we're going to be working on in the beginning. People can have their video and their microphones turned on. And then we just sit together for sometimes a half hour, 45 minutes, and just work. And we're not all working on the same project, but it's kind of nice to just sort of have a moment where you're showing up to make art, and so is a room full of other people, but you can still be working independently and doing your own thing. And then at the end of those calls, we'll go around and people can share, kind of what they worked on during that time. So Daniel did this awesome drawing during our sketchbook happy hour, and he finished it after the fact and then shared it in the schoolyard. So I just love the idea that he sort of had a project in mind and he wanted to tackle it with us, and then he kept chipping away at it. Another student, Deb, shared this lovely drawing, and I'm not sure if any of you are experiencing this in your neighborhood, but in her neighborhood, people are putting certain shapes or images in their windows for when kids walk by with their parents, going to and fro, maybe running essential errands. They're able to kind of do a scavenger hunt or find things in the windows of their neighbors. So she kind of turned it into a rear window self-portrait, which I thought was kind of funny. But it's really sweet. So she shared that in her neighborhood they're putting up hearts, and they call it heart hunters. So kids walking by can check out the hearts in all the windows that they see. And I love this idea, and that she turned it into kind of a little self-portrait. And the last piece of art that I want to share with you before we draw, this is actually kind of going to be our prompt for the drawing today. Shiara is actually she shared this drawing that she did of a place that she wanted to be if she wasn't in quarantine right now. So here's the idea of just thinking of a memory that you have of a place that could be near you, or it could be somewhere you traveled to, but a place that you would almost want to escape to right now. And in doing this drawing, I'm sure she was able to kind of revisit this happy, summer vacation memory. I know for me personally, I've had to cancel a lot of trips and races and things that I was really looking forward to this year, just because things are not safe right now and it's kind of uncertain. So what I want all of you to do, I'm going to set a timer now as we're going to draw together, is I want you to think of your happy place. So this can be imagined. It can be a real place that you've been to. I'll put up a photo of what I'm going to use as my happy place for my drawing, which I'll show you. So my happy place, hey Linda, you are just in time for the drawing portion. So we are going to draw our happy place, or an imaginary or real place that you wish that you could escape to right now, even if you're stuck at home and have to stay at home for a while. For me, I'm going to draw this beach. Now, this moment for me was a sunrise run that I got to take. I was by myself. No one else was on the beach. This was in the Dominican Republic, in Las Terrenas, and it was beautiful. And this is a memory that I just look back on, and it just makes me feel calm, and it makes me really happy. So this is going to be my happy place. You can borrow it if you want a happy place or need one. But I would encourage you to think of a place, that you kind of look back fondly on. Maybe a place that you can't go to physically right now. But we're going to do our best and try to draw it, and that can be our little escape for the day. So I'm going to set a timer for, we'll do it 3 minutes. It's just a short little thing. I've got some brush pens, so for me I can work quickly in a brush pen. But grab a sketchbook, and I'm going to leave this photo up. And I'll just make it bigger. But you can use whatever happy place, that you would want to go to right now, if you could go anywhere in the world. And it could also be something simple. It could be like your favorite coffee shop that's kind of off limits right now. That could be your happy place. So I'm going to go ahead and make this picture larger, and I'm going to start the timer. So I want all of you to draw your happy place right now. And I'm going to hit start. Yes, and Pegred is mentioning that the beach is closed, which is such a bummer. A lot of public places are closed right now, so I completely understand that. So you can borrow this beach if you want. That's what I'm going to be drawing right now. Also, apologies, my husband decided to vacuum in between his conference calls. I'm going to have to talk to him about that later. Hopefully you don't mind the hum of the vacuum cleaner as some white noise. That's better. Okay. So if you are just joining us right now, we are, for our little drawing meditation, we are drawing a happy place, or a place that we would want to escape to. Midori, I'm glad that you liked the vacuum. Yes, he is definitely an avid vacuumer. However, I would prefer it not to be when I have a live broadcast going on. But for those of you just tuning in, we are drawing our happy place, and I have just shared a photo of a beach. That's my happy place that I'm using. But you can use whichever. Yes, Mary, we'll go with that it was waves on the beach. I like your optimism there. That's great. And for those of you that do a happy place drawing right now, I would love to see yours in the schoolyard, so we can kind of share happy places and sort of transport ourselves temporarily to somewhere else. Oops. And that was our timer, which it always goes by so fast. It's amazing. But thank you so much. Yeah, Jan, oh, it looks like Jan's just popping in. Jan, that is quite all right. We were just drawing our happy place, a place that we would want to escape to. That was the prompt for today that I decided upon because it was something that I was interested in doing. I needed a little pick-me-up. So anyway, thank you to all of you that tuned in today, and I hope that you're able to finish up. I'm going to finish up my happy place drawing here in a second. And I would love to see them in the schoolyard to see where you guys are wishing to transport yourselves right now. Looks like Margaret is working on masks, which is awesome, Margaret. Thank you so much for that effort and for hopping on. And I hope all of you have an awesome rest of the day. Some of you will see for the gouache workshop tomorrow, which is really exciting. And then Monday we have a creative manifesto session at 11 a.m. Eastern for the month of April. So we will be hopping on Monday. There is a link in the schoolyard to come up with our creative goals for the month. And I will also put another happy hour on the calendar so that we can hang out again. Happy Friday to all of you, and have a great rest of your day, and stay safe, stay healthy, and keep washing your hands. Thank you.